Yes, everybody, welcome back. This is 5 things that we learned watching Manchester United beat Villarreal last night at Old Trafford, baby. In number 1 then, Ronaldo saves us again. It wasn't his best game, in all honesty. I thought fluidity of the team wasn't great. And in attack, we sort of was a little bit dysfunctional. Not helped by the fact that Villarreal are an extremely difficult side to break down. Extremely difficult. Very well drilled. And there were some flaws in how we attacked, but wasn't the best attacking from United, and as such meant Ronaldo wasn't involved heavily. His ability to come up with match-winning goals is literally no one comes near. It's ridiculous. I think maybe Ollie needs a little bit of credit for keeping him on. It looked at one point like he was probably going to take him off, and I'm so glad that he didn't, because I think there would have been an absolute social media meltdown if that had been the case. You've got to leave Ronaldo on the pitch, even to the detriment of someone else, because he's always got the ability to come up with a goal. And it was probably only him that would have scored that. Maybe Cavani. Cavani looked sharp when he came on, but maybe only Ronaldo's got the ability under that sort of pressure, 95th minute. And can we just say, moments like that are why we watch football. This is what we're here for. This is what he's here for. He is a goal scorer that is alive in the box, always looking, always positive, always lethal, always deadly. He's got 5 goals in 5 games. Should we just leave it at that, shall we? All this talk of him being finished. No, I think you're finished if you think he is. Number 2, defensively challenged. So another game without a clean sheet. I think it was going to be tough last night. And if you watch the Villarreal preview, we spoke about the reasons why some of it was going to be tough. Having a 75% change in personnel in your backline is never a good thing. And that's what we had last night. And Varane was our only recognised centre-half, still settling into the club, still settling into Old Trafford. And the 2 fullbacks that we had in replacement are 2 very attack-minded fullbacks that have frailties in the defensive side of their game, Dalot particularly. And Dalot's offensive side of his game was completely clipped by Danjuma last night. He was so worried about him that he had to stay back and try and defend. And even when he was trying to defend, he's just 1v1 defending was nowhere near good enough. I think people have underestimated how good Wan-Bissaka is defensively, and that was shown by how poor we looked with Dalot there last night. And I think Ollie's got a couple of positions where he's got imperfect players. Number 6 is certainly one, and right back is another one. And with what he'd shown us last night, with playing McTominay in the 6, because it was an actual 4-3-3 that we played, and I was delighted to see that. When we saw McTominay in the 6, McTominay wasn't wanting the ball enough. And he certainly couldn't do what Van der Beek could do on the ball. And we're going to talk about Van der Beek in a bit, so I'm not going to go too heavy on him. But McTominay offers something different defensively. What McTominay offers different defensively is his ability to cover ground, his ability to shield that back line, and his ability to be physical and a threat at set pieces in both boxes. Van der Beek doesn't have that, and we saw against West Ham that his defensive coverage isn't good enough. His ability to be defensively aware isn't good enough. He's not quite ready to be that number 6 either. And there's a mirrored situation happening at right back. Wan-Bissaka's offense isn't good enough. Dalot's defense isn't good enough. And Ollie's chose to go with what's more defensively sound. And I can understand that, because we're not exactly keeping clean sheets. If we were keeping clean sheets but maybe struggling to score, you'd go, you've got to be a bit more risky. But that's not the case at the moment. We're not keeping clean sheets. So he's got to go with what's more defensively sound than, just trying to power through and win every game 4-3, because you'll come unstuck eventually against that. The drop-off to the backup fullbacks is pretty substantial. I think Tellers is closer to Shaw than Dalot's closer to Wan-Bissaka, but there's still a bit of a drop-off. We often leave our players isolated. And I think we get bypassed in a press a lot by good ball-playing teams, and Villarreal are certainly that. And I think that's a bit of a structural issue for us. I think that the gap from midfield to defence is huge, and I think that's a lot of being not confident in the midfield or the attack's ability to stop balls coming through. So we drop off, and when you drop off, you actually create more space. It's one of those weird things where if you were more confident, literally just more confident and a bit more risk-taking by pushing up further, you'd squeeze in a lot more and make it a bit more difficult for teams. But yeah, I thought defensively we were challenged, and Villarreal will come away from that thinking and probably deserving to have got more out of that game than they did do. Number 3, listen, Cavani's got to start. It's as simple as that. His energy, his endeavour, his never giving up attitude basically won us the game at the end. It was his pressing, it was his urgency, it was his tempo and attitude. He's fucking brilliant. I absolutely love him. We missed his liveliness up front. He turns defenders, he causes chaos, he's a threat from in the air. He probably should have done better with the one that just hit him in the face, and I don't think he expected to get onto it. He is our best pressing forward. He adds a totally different dimension, and I think United have to find a way to fit him and Ronaldo into the same team, because the dynamic shifts. Teams don't look at us and think, we'll attack these when you've got both of them on the pitch. They look at them and they go, Jesus Christ, figure that out. And I think that's the time now, is to make teams worry about us. I don't think we're quite there defensively, and I think it's probably a miss for us to try and be defensively sound. So I think it's time to just go 5th gear, full vibes it, and let's have it. Number 4, Van der Beek drama. So Donny on the bench, throws his chewing gum out, starts getting comforted by, I think it's Dean Henderson over his shoulder. And it puts the questions in. Does Ollie not fancy him? Look at the 2 players that he brought on that combined to help win United the game at the end. I'm assuming instead of Van der Beek was the call there. He brings on Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard plays kind of off the right as a forward. And his ability to get forward and lay Ronaldo off, was good, to be fair. And I don't know if anyone else could have done what he'd done in that circumstance and that position. And he did very well to lay it off for Ronaldo like that. Questionably offside, to be honest. But, if we're going back and changing results, I'd like to go back and change the 2010 league title, if that's all right with everyone else. So he plays it back to Ronaldo. Ronaldo rifles it home. The ball that's in initially is played by Fred. Are you putting Donny van der Beek on at left back? No. Could he come on and done what Matic did? Matic actually really steadied the ship when he came on. No. Can he come on and do what Lingard did? No. Can he come on and do what Cavani did? No. So Ollie got his subs right. Literally every single one of the subs that Ollie put on had an impact on that result in a positive sense. Matic steadied the ship from the imbalance that we probably saw a little bit with Pogba playing. Lingard provides the assist. Fred provides the cross. And Cavani provides the press. That is literally the 4 substitutes there combining to make what happened happen. It's as simple as that. Now, should he face disciplinary action? I think that would be unfair, to be honest, if he did. I think the public display, he might... And by disciplinary action, I'm talking about a fine or being sat out or anything like that. But if I'm Ollie, I think good man management would be go and talk to him. Maybe explain why he missed out. Something like that. I don't think you can ignore him. He's also got to take his chances when they come. You can't just be given opportunities. That's not how football works. You have to take the opportunities that are presented to you. And he's not done that. So for me... Stop sulking, deal with it, get something sorted and see what happens. If anyone could have sulked, it could have been Cavani. But that's not been the case, has it? Because Cavani's the one that's probably been hampered the most by Ronaldo coming in. And he doesn't seem to have sulked in the slightest. And actually, when he puts on a United shirt, he plays like one of us. So stop sulking and put a fucking shift in when you get the opportunity. And I think, you'll get your rewards that way. And finally... Sancho spark. Probably the most dynamic and possibly the best performance that we've seen so far from Sancho, although I still don't think he's fully match fit. He also looks a little bit heavy. So I think he's got to sort that out a little bit. But last night I thought it was very direct, very aggressive. It looks like he's growing into it. Seems like he's got the opportunity to explode. was an unfortunate game for him to play in last night in certain circumstances, because what he does in possession, what he does on the ball, needs a little bit of space to run into, and Villarreal do not give you that opportunity. They're very deep, they're really compact, and they work really hard off the ball. I think you just got to be patient with him. That could have been a game where he turned the corner. You know, he could have maybe got a goal, but wasn't to be. But I thought it was his best game. It looks like he's turned the corner, and I think he'll be fine in the long run. A little bit of a settling in period. You've got to remember, he's never played in the Prem. Might be an English player, but he's never played Premier League football until this season. So just a little bit of patience with him, and we'll see. Before I go, I just got a shout out. We are still recruiting players for Paddock FC, and this now is expanded to every single age group that there is. We have got tots on Sunday, 12 till 1, so if you're 3 to 5 years old, and then we've got under 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, all the way up on Sunday as well, and that's between 12 and 2 on Sunday in central Manchester. It's free. Just bring your kids down. We're putting on a session as a little taster before we start putting a side together. So if you're interested in coming getting some coaching for your little one on Saturday, it's boys and girls up to about 11, and then we think we have to separate after that. We are recruiting a women's and girls teams pretty soon as well. Hopefully by the end of the season we'll have that in place. And we're also still looking for first team, reserve and development, and under 21 players. So that's the 4 sides we currently have going. If you're interested in joining one of the men's teams, so that's 21s, devs or reserves, then 6 o'clock on a Tuesday or a Friday, turn up. That's at Nichols Football Centre in Manchester. Come and speak to one of the coaches and come and join in with training. We are a growing club. We will be a full community club by the end of this season, with boys and girls teams, men's and women's teams, and every single age group covered. So if you want to get in the mixer and you live close enough to Manchester to bring them down, then I would love to see you there, either Friday for the men's team or Sunday for the kids teams as well. And I'll be taking my little girl to go and have her first football training session too. So if you want to come and get in the mix, I'll leave the link below for some of those details, and the address and all that sort of stuff. But cheers for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.